Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for our Framework Festival, our first one ever. This is the third event we've put together for the community since we started this project. We've been building this project for, I would say, over a year now, but we officially went live with our first event in June, held a one-day event in September, and now here we are with a four-day event covering a whole range of people from all over the globe. I can't wait to share all of these speakers with you. It's a really exciting group of people. So we're getting started here. Today is our Europe Focus Day, and my co-host today is the fantastic Ash Nehru. So we'll bring him in and say hello to you all. Hi, Ash.
Hi, everyone. Hi, thank you, Laura. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I'm really excited to see what we will come up with today, and look forward to spending some time chatting with you guys as well. I think for me,
I'm looking forward to seeing. Go ahead, Ash.
For me, it's just hanging out with people was like the major highlight of the last time. Just seeing everybody's faces again after a really long time.
Yeah. I was caught by you saying, I look forward to seeing what we come up with or what we make today, because I am too. And I hope everyone understands this is a volunteer effort. We pull this together as simply as possible. So anything can happen over the next 2 days, at least for this first weekend and next weekend. So please be patient with us. We are all professionals or want to be professionals. This is a little bit of baling wire and gaffer tape that brings this all together. We have a fabulous team supporting our backstage and driving this for us, but I give them very little time and information to pull this all together. So it's a little bit seat of your pants. We're just happy to have you here.
Like all the shows we do.
Like all really. And it's rawest and most basic form. If anything, this is a lesson of the value of production managers.
It's going to be great.
So Ash and I get to have you all to ourselves for this first half hour to start off the whole festival. And Ash is one of our original founders. So I thought a good thing for us to chat about with everyone what we think Framework is. It's kind of a moving, developing target. I know what I wanted it when it started, but as it continues to grow, I think it's really valuable to evaluate this question on a regular basis. So, Ash, what is Framework?
Well, I mean, I think it's useful to go back to the conversations that led it to come into being in the first place. I seem to recall, on more than 1 year at LDI where we all got together, having conversations in the morning at the Hard Rock Hotel at that breakfast place of theirs at about 3 or 4 in the morning, of just like 5 or 6 completely wasted people, just kind of going, this is fun, but we need. There was always this sense that we were piggybacking on other people's conferences, and we weren't really the core audience for any of those conferences, whether it was LDI or any of the other ones that we all went to, like NAB and all the others. We always had this feeling that those conferences never quite spoke to us and what we actually do. And we were kind of guests there. And, obviously people were super nice to us, but, there was always this feeling that however well you did, you were always going to be out on the fringes. I think there was like this feeling that, the standard formula for conferences wasn't really quite giving us something that we needed. So, there was a togetherness aspect where you get to hang out with everyone. But, because of all the stresses of trying to put on a stand or see everything in the show, the conversations were all very fleeting. Really, it was quite rare that you had a long conversation with some actual quality in it. It was always like, hey, how are you doing? Blah, 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 very quick. And you were wasted the whole time and super tired. And so there was this slight sense that, it was lovely, but there was somehow some substance that was being missed. So I think that was from recalling those conversations, it was like, well, what if there was something that was really tailored for this group of people, like this industry, whatever this happens to be. And it's quite interesting to even try and define it, isn't it? Because, what is it?
It's so hard to define this community. Because that's the first question that often comes up when I'm engaging with people about what we do. And natural question, who do you represent? Well, We represent the people who paint the pixels. We represent the people who ask for what those pixels might look like. We represent the people who hit play on a device to send the pixels someplace. We represent the people monitoring how many pixels need to be cataloged and where they go. And then we represent the people who engineer those pixels to show up in the right place on a surface. Like, how do you describe that group of people? It's not an easy soundbite.
Yeah, and also, the different industries that people work in. It was broadcast, it was live, it was music, it was corporate stuff, theater. It's very, very diverse, and there wasn't really, you know, you would see some of those people in, at LDI. You'd see the lighting guys who did, that
Yeah.
world, and it was always lovely. But there wasn't anything for the video people,
Yeah.
um, and so I think, I think those are the two desires was to do something to represent this group, and also something where we could actually bring a bit more of the quality conversations that we were having these conversations, but you'd sit with one person and have a half-hour conversation and put the world to rights. And it was like, I wish this was a talk that we'd seen on the in one of these sessions, because all the quality, you'd sort of miss those really quality moments where you suddenly go, oh my god, that's the answer to everything. And
Yeah.
I think my desire with this was to try and create something that was not about selling stuff and demoing stuff, but much more about talking and figuring new stuff out. Like where are things going? What are people doing? What's working? What's not working? What's in the future? How do we make things better?
Yeah, so framework for me was very much defining a place of our own and then giving us the space to have those deeper conversations about what it is we do. Because the lesson I felt I got, and of course, wanting to do this precedes writing a textbook, but while I was writing a textbook, I felt like the lessons learned about the way we communicate with each other, there's still a lot we as a community don't understand about every nuance we contribute. And the more we learn about each other, the better advocates we become for our video community, to our clients and to the departments we partner with. So the motivation to build the space for D was about creating that place for our communication and learning about each other, and then building a stronger bond so that we are a recognized department within the production community rather than this dispersed group of technologists and digital creatives who contribute a piece, some piece that they're constantly getting to know about us. I wanted it to make us a cohesive production department.
Absolutely. I think also, it's also, I think there's other aspects to this which have come to the fore a little bit, and I think there was definitely a tendency to for it to possibly be perceived as a bit cliquey from the outset, where it's us and the people that we know within the industry, and I think there's definitely a desire to try and widen that net a little bit, and that's hopefully borne out. In the presentations that we'll see in this festival. We've actually tried to go a little bit beyond the standard, the usual suspects, which is not a very nice way of saying it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And to go a little further afield and to try and bring some voices in who one doesn't normally hear from in this group. I think that mission of kind of bringing people in and helping people to integrate with the quote unquote scene is I think one that is quite important, and I think everybody benefits from it as well, because new blood and fresh ideas is what keeps things going.
It's definitely been an interesting challenge. I've of course reached out to you and many other people to try and get introduced to as many people as possible who are working maybe where I wouldn't know to look, or where I wouldn't meet people in the course of the kind of work I do. So, the first two framework events were very much from that kind of first, range of people I could touch or their community. And so there was a real concerted effort for this one to reach even farther into other countries, into other communities and types of work. And that feels very successful. I know that, personally, I stated at the beginning and have reiterated in September that there is a strong motivation and goal of Framework to improve the demographic of women represented here and people of color. And I continue to struggle to find those people. So one of the things I wanted to do, at least starting this festival, is say, if I'm not finding my way to you and you meet that description, please come introduce yourself to us, because we want to continue to grow this community and we want to represent people who are underrepresented in the industry professionally and help grow in that regard for women and people of color. So,
and I think, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, so it will take a little
yeah.
time. And I think the key point is for us all to recognize that, you know, all of us at some point were outsiders, right? And there was somebody who helped us to come in, who gave us a leg up and gave us encouragement and gave us off a job and went to bat for us. And you know, it is a good thing to pay that forward, I think, for everyone. So, and I think this can be a forum where that happens, among many other things. You know, I think one of the big opportunities of kind of this weird period that we're going through with COVID and whatnot is actually I've seen a huge explosion in possibility because of the ability to work remotely, right? People are figuring out that they can do shows together without actually being in the same physical room. And if you think about it from the point of view of international collaboration, that actually is a game changer, because it now means that as long as you're willing to stay up past your bedtime, you know, which I think most people are, right? You can actually work on projects with people that are on, you know, different continents. And I think that's huge. You know, talking to people in Europe who always wanted to go over to LA and be part of the stuff that was going on there. You know, they'd have to get on a plane and go and stay in a hotel, and you know, it was a very difficult thing to do, to go there for a long and to meet people who might not be in town at that time. And that's kind of all been exploded now. It's you know, there's so much more possibility for working together across international boundaries, and I think that's something that we should definitely be pushing, right? How do we connect people together?
Yeah, there's it's growing that way and breaking these international boundaries. And for me, the question of how to reach to our partners who have come into the production world from the gaming side of all the tools we use for virtual production, we have so much we can offer that community as far as understanding the way we work in event work or film work versus what they know about the skills of how they build worlds for, you know, 3D tools that they use and gaming engines that they use. So, you know, there's another kind of boundary there that is getting blurred with creating content now that we're in the virtual production industry.
Yeah, and I think also the you know, the world is going to sort of not change back exactly, but you know, I think we can all see the light at the end of the tunnel now, and it doesn't sound crazy. Live events will come back in 2021, even if it's maybe the second half of the third quarter, fourth quarter. But you know, it's very clear that also we're not going to go back to the way we used to do things, right? I don't think, you know, the people putting on the productions, I don't think we're going to see like, you know, 50 people sitting in a row of seats in front of the stage building a show together in the same way as we did before. And you know, I guess that's sad in some ways, because that was really fun, but it also, I think, it opens up this potential to work in completely new ways.
Yeah. And to that point, I think the investment that you know, a lot of people have either been on the fence about making, that maybe things turn around, vaccine gets distributed, you know, really fast. I personally believe we still have another year of nurturing these tools and our skills easily, and that we will move into a hybrid environment where we're always going to be using some kind of virtual production tools, even if we get back to the point by summer where there are live audiences. They're just not going to be at the size they were, so we have to deliver this content to the people who can't be there in person. So, you know, I definitely, and I feel like I've been saying this since the beginning. I mean, I think I said it before the pandemic, you know, constant learning is valuable. And right now that is pointing towards, 3D skills and the tools of virtual production. So get out there, everyone. We need more production people who understand 3D. So why don't we take a moment and talk a little bit about the event itself and just some information we want to give to the community who's here at this point. I see some people in our Discord server. I just want to make sure everyone understands this is where we want everyone to post questions for our speakers. In fact, if you're in the Discord server now and you find the channels related to the festival, there is a questions channel for the presenters. You should post a question or say hi to me and Ash if you want to right now. If you are not in our Discord server yet and you want to join, take your phone right now and point it at the screen. This will get you there. So we're just going to leave this up for a little bit and talk about why we're doing this hybrid chat. Obviously, we're in a conference environment where there is a text-based chat that you can communicate with us. With our small crew supporting this, I find interacting with chat and text very distracting as a presenter. I want to engage with you and not read what you're talking about. And until we can get on a platform where we can invite you to come talk to us, we've been looking for the right way to engage with you in real time while we're presenting. And we've had some hit and misses. And I figured this was an opportunity to try something else. And for us, that means Discord. We want an online environment where the community is engaged and talking and has access to each other in a instant environment. Slack and Discord have become tools. We all Slack at work for the most part, but Discord has become this chat tool that's in our pocket. We tried to build a framework forum on the web, but it didn't come to you. It had to be someplace that you would go to visit to see what people are talking about. And we're hoping by building up our Discord audience that people will be more interactive and reach out to each other more for ideas and tips and information. So we're going to use this festival as a way to reach out to you and build the community. I already see notifications that a bunch of people are joining now, so thank you. Like I said, pop by, introduce yourself in the channels. There is a specific channel to ask questions of the presenters. We do have a couple of moderators who are going to be monitoring the question chat to help facilitate getting those questions to us. So please post your questions. We'll post this link again for Discord later in the event. It's also listed on the webpage for the festival itself, so you can find the link there. All right, so besides Discord, I also want to talk about our lineup today. So I'll wait till we have that posted. Thank you, Chris. Chris is driving this bus. So this is who we're going to hear from today. It's a pretty exciting list, I think, though I'm pretty excited about everyone speaking. I get a little gushy about it. Ash, are you excited about anything in particular?
Well, I'm curious because a lot of these people are people that I haven't actually met before. And so excited that we're going to see some new stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what we were talking about when we last sat down and said, well, what should we do for the next one? So yeah, that's very exciting to me, definitely.
Yeah, we've got a good group today, like familiar faces. I think of this group, I had heard some of these names before and never had a chance to meet them. So it's a nice opportunity for me to stop just hearing about community members through the ether. It's so hard for us to end up working together on projects when we're all leading projects. So this is a nice opportunity to take a moment and really dive into what people are working on. So I'm looking forward to today. And then I do need to bring up one topic, which is our tip jar. So I'll have Chris change to that graphic. This is where we come to you. This event is free. It will remain free for anyone who needs it to be free. I am not pushing for everyone to chip in unless you are prepared to chip in. But this, if you point your phone at this, will take you to our PayPal tip jar. It is a suggested donation event, and we're suggesting 1 hour of what you would earn as a contribution for this 4-day event. It can be less, it can be more if you're having a good year, but for most people, it should be zero. So I encourage you to ignore this graphic unless you have a few dollars you can spare. We all volunteer to be here. Everyone who is presenting is here to share their work for the love of the work they do. This tip jar, what we earn goes to our hosting costs, the different platforms, our internet usage. These all just have hard costs that are unavoidable, but we keep it as
the
cheap
yacht.
as possible.
There is going to be a yacht, though, isn't there, at some point?
You know, that was going to be my surprise for later, but yes, there is a Framework yacht, I guess.
There will be a
Is it
party next
parked
year
off?
on the yacht. As soon as
So
it's
yes,
over, we'll have the next one on the yacht.
I look forward to the Framework yacht, but for now, I'd just be happy to cover our internet bandwidth. So, Chris, thank you. I think that's it for me in the graphics this morning. So, has your perception of what we're building shifted or changed, or have your goals shifted at all since we started this experiment?
I mean, I think they should. I mean, I would like it that I think one of the things that we talked about when we were setting out the mission was it would be great if it wasn't the same every time, and that it was constantly evolving. And how do we top the last thing, or let's try a different thing next time.
Yeah.
And there's still a bunch of different ideas for things we could do. I think for me the most important thing is to create connections between people who are usually at different points in the command chain, right? There's people who are quote unquote right at the top, who are the show designers and the artists, the people that pay for all of this at the end of the day, all the way quote unquote down the chain of command to the people that are actually building the systems, like the programmers and the people that work within the companies to make these things happen. And those people are quite far apart. They don't really talk to each other a lot at the moment, and they should be, right? Because it's my contention that they would get a kick out of each other and they would really find it valuable. And every time we do see those conversations happening, it's always really quite magic. And that's definitely been a want from the beginning, is to try and create those connections. And I think anything we can do to do that. There's not going to be one particular answer to it all. I don't expect that. But what I'm really hoping for from today is that you'll see stuff from presenters that you've never even imagined that they're this project, or they can call you up, and you guys people can actually work together in to create new stuff. I mean, to shake things up a little bit. I think that would be the ultimate goal. And then we talked in the past as well about wouldn't it be great if there was some sort of document that we could evolve together as a community that was a sort of a best practice. We've talked about that, and I think it would be wonderful if that conversation could be advanced a little bit over these 4 days, so that people who are interested in that could come again together to talk about it. But yeah, I think I'm just excited to see what comes up over the next 4 days. I really enjoyed those hop-in chats the last time. It was just fabulous to jump in between those, and I'm really hoping we get some of that again. And take it to the next level.
I forgot to mention that. Thanks for bringing that up. If you haven't had a chance to look around Hopin yet, or if you're unfamiliar with the platform, you're watching us on the stage, but you'll see another button on the left nav called Sessions. And it's user controlled. You can create your own session. Each session will hold 12 people. They're basically chat rooms. So if there's a presenter, I encourage you to be in the stage the whole time, of course. But if there's a presentation that doesn't really speak to your interests and you want to pop over into sessions and start a chat with someone, we encourage you to engage with each other. This is the place where we can have the sharing of ideas and why we bring this community together. So please use that part of the Hop in Space. But please come spend time with the presenters, because I find all of this so fascinating. I think it's going to be really good stuff. We will have the sessions open for at least 1 hour after we complete the presentations today. And that's when I'll be able to come join the sessions. Ash and I won't be there until the event is over. So we will see you in the sessions after the full day of presenters is done. Well, we're getting close to starting with our first presenter. I should introduce him and talk a little bit about what we're going to see. We have Denis Astakov coming up, and his session is on XR production for esports events. I was introduced to Denis by Elliot Dunwoody, who is one of the Framework founders. And we had a chance to chat about what he's been working on. I think in the 3 times I've talked to Denis since we were planning the Framework Festival, he's been working in 3 different cities. I think we'll find him in London today. So this should be very exciting to see what he's building with his team at Avocado Toast. Do you know Denis, Ash?
No, we've not met before, don't think.
Yeah.
Or either that or we've met at LDI, which means I haven't
Perfect. So we'll bring him in a couple of minutes here. I'm just kind of poking around at Discord myself, waiting for the question channel to light up there. So I see a bunch of people have joined us. I see a few people saying, having a little chat, saying good morning to everyone in the festival channel, but don't be shy about using the questions for speaker channel. That is your line to whoever is holding the stage. So thanks, Chris. Give you guys another chance to join on the Discord. So I'm just checking what other things I need to make sure I've told everyone about. Oh my God, Ash, I forgot the most important thing. I have a list of thank yous. So I just am going to introduce quickly our backstage team at Uru Connects. We have Chris Russo and Kirsten Hovland. Kirsten very graciously is joining us from LA at the middle of the night to support today's event, and I'm very grateful to them. I'm not sure if Emily is with us today, but she's one of the Uru Connects team, and she's also been super helpful in getting us organized and helping us research platforms. And also I want to take a minute and thank all of the Framework founders who are my sounding board and keep me focused when I come up with these crazy ideas to throw a 4-day festival. The founders include Soren West, Luke Malcolm, and Elliot Dunwoody. This is we got the ball rolling last year, and we were joined by Ash, Matt Waters, JT Rooney, and Trevor Burke. Sorry, Matt Ward. I wrote that down wrong. My bad. So I'm very grateful to all these people for being a part. I also need to quickly thank volunteers that have helped us on this. Nick Rivero and Meptic, who have done our graphics package, along with some added elements from Mike Moore and Toy Robot. Rich Porter edited one of our videos, promotional videos, along with Ian McIntosh and Jason Bowden, who did our recent sizzle reel that came out this week. Also, we have a team of moderators who were graciously introduced to me by Sharon Huizinga at CCM. William Baker, Tal Kochov, and Jeremy Mayo will also be moderating. And of course, I have to thank all of our speakers. So I'm grateful to all of you. I'm excited to get this ball on the road. So Ash, why don't you and I say hi to Denis?